Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful morning or evening wherever you are. Today, we're going to be talking about my Pulverize build and my leveling experience with it, the good, bad, and everything in between. If you learned something or enjoyed, please like and subscribe so I know I'm on the right track to providing quality and informative content for you. And without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so this won't be like your traditional build guide. Be more like my experience leveling the Druid with Pulverize and how I would change it if I were to level a Druid in Season 1. It was very clunky, I felt. I've only leveled a Sorcerer past level 50, but compared to the Sorcerer, I found myself always out of mana, always auto-attacking to try to get mana. I would never be in danger when I had mana, but as soon as I ran out of mana, trying to get my mana back could sometimes be very difficult. I'll have some footage in the background of how it was before I got the aspect of Shockwave, but this aspect here allows my Pulverize to travel forward, dealing a lot of damage to enemies in its path, and that just increases your AoE by a crazy amount. It's actually almost impossible to play without this aspect, but I made some changes in my leveling to kind of cater towards not getting this aspect till about level 66. Yeah, it was rough, but I made it work, and I think I leveled pretty good. I was leveling at a pretty fast rate. I never actually recorded, but it was pretty quick. Some of the advantages of playing Pulverize early is tanky. It does a lot of damage when you're hitting those crits. When you proc Nature's Magic, when you get into a little bit later version of this Shockwave build, um, it's fun. You proc it, you get full mana, and you just spam. When you don't proc it, it's not fun at all, and it actually is very, very frustrating to play. I don't know how many times I was out of mana, and I just needed to spam it a few more times to kill the last elites, and then I just sitting there getting beat on while I'm trying to just tickle these monsters to death. Before you get the aspect, though, you can make changes to how you play. So I was running certain dungeons that were more of a tunnel type dungeon, so that monsters couldn't spread out and you would just be attacking what's in front of you. So Blind Burrows is one of the best dungeons to run, and I exclusively tried to run only Blind Burrows. I had a ton of sigil powder left over from my Sork, so I just crafted tier 20s and ran them all at level 50 and just got a huge gear slot and bonuses to experience. Is really strong. I recommend trying to do maps that have tunnels or small corridors to increase your AoE until you get the aspect of the shockwave aspect. All right. So the negatives, as you've heard, spirit cost is crazy. So getting spirit cost reduction on your boots anywhere you can is great. I ran Umbral from the Codex, and I did not find it was the greatest. It did okay, but it actually I didn't really find it restoring much of my mana because you would have to hit everybody first. It applies the crowd control, and then when you hit them, then you get your mana back. So your first Pulverize would never actually restore any mana unless you proc lucky hits. I have some options I never tried. This right here, increasing your maximum spirit while you're in Grizzly Rage and Spirit Regeneration. I've never tried this, but this could be an option to help you sustain some mana early on. Even if you took out some of your damaging aspects to help keep your mana up, will give you way more uptime and sanity where you're playing with this build, because it's just terrible running out of mana all the time. I thought Sork had mana issues. Druid is just a whole new beast of mana issues. I would have got one more level with Pulverize. I could equip this to test it, but I don't think I'm going to make it. I am honestly hating Pulverize, and now that I dropped my Tempest Roar, I can finally switch out. The aspects I ran as Pulverize build, starting with the helmet, we put when you have Fortify, your Earth skills gain 2 ranks. Gives you more pulverized damage. I ended up finding this. You don't need this, but it's +2 to werebear skill, so more pulverized damage, and it allows you to stay in werebear form, giving you a little bit more damage reduction. We go to here. I ended up putting this on my gloves eventually, but I had this on my staff, giving me a crazy amount of flat damage to the dot, and it did a lot of damage. I think it was probably doing just as much as my Pulverize. So this carried me early on until I ended up getting Shockwave and then tried to transfer all my damage into the Pulverize portion of the build and not the tectonic spikes. Here, just all DR into some legs if you can, and then I got the Earthen Bulwark is increased by 6 seconds. This just gives you more unstoppable uptime, a little bit more durability. In the boots, or skill slow, this gives you your slow proc, which makes everybody crowd controlled, which gives you some mana back on Umbriel. Pretty strong. I had in my staff the not the Shockwave talent, but this talent. And then before I got Shockwave, I believe I was running this. And I had Wolves on my skill bar, which just gave me a bit more damage for Companion. It's kind of nice. Here, you want this in your amulet. Core skills give you 50 or a certain percentage of increased damage based on your amount of Fortify. Really strong, multiplicative damage. The duration of Grizzly Rage is increased, and you get crit damage stacking. Every time you crit, you get more damage. Really strong, especially when your Grizzly Rage lasts, I believe, 16.5 seconds. It's really good. Okay, for Spirit Boons, we went with 10% reduced damage with Elites. We went with the crit strike chance. We went with extended duration of ultimate skills, get that Grizzly Rage uptime. And then we went with healing on shape-shifting skills with the crits. And we went with lucky hit nature magic skills, have up to 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate skill. All right, now for the gameplay loop. So essentially, whenever we go into an elite pack of monsters, we hit Grizzly Rage. This is going to give us damage reduction. This is going to give us damage. And it's just going to make us even more of a beast than we are. When Grizzly Rage is down, we use Earthen Bulwark to keep us alive and keep us unstoppable. Pulverize, well, that's their main damage. We're trying to group up enemies, and we're trying to hit them as many as possible with one cast. Or else, if you're going to enemy, you're going to run into mana issues, and we're not going to enjoy that at all. Maul is just to get mana back when you're out. I found that just holding right click down will auto attack when things get near you. It just helps you keep your spirit up without actually having to stress about attacking enemies. And then you can just press Pulverize whenever you want, and it will cancel your clicking here and just cast them all for you. So that pretty much wraps up my leveling experience with Druid. Overall, it was pretty good. I think I'll be leveling a Druid in Season 1. I think I'll do Pulverize. It's pretty easy to get up off the ground, and it carried me well into 80, doing level 40 Nightmare Tier dungeons easy. And next time you see me, I will be Tornado Slinging Werewolf. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe on your way out. Thanks again.